Yep.
NDS.
Before we move on, for BLUFOR, are you absolutely sure you don't want like me or Dingo to hop down in any of those armor vehicles?
Those are Hummers.
Oh, they are? I thought they were heavy armor.
No.
Humvees.
Yeah, that's a
Never mind.
Humvee
There's no,
designation.
nothing heavy, from what I see.
M2s.
Roger that. Okay, let's go to our briefing. Well done everyone that last
You gotta
round. That was a
love the
good tight
bullshit
game.
on
Certainly
the
when
bottom
died,
left. I always love getting
there
in
was
on
lots of
that.
noise and excitement coming from the spectators, so I'm glad you're all having fun.
Wheaton
even
got you
after
good
death.
in that one.
Well, I was throwing grenades blind to
Hey,
smoke,
is anyone
but
in
it is
here?
what it
Yeah,
is.
I'm in here. Metis got goes through the window.
But anyway, yeah,
Team DshK.
good effort everyone. Obviously with this new command structure it is going to take some getting used to, but well done to everyone who's adapting to it and getting it sorted. I know it's a lot coming in through your ears, but hopefully we'll find a nice pattern with it. And well done for, I think there are a couple of instances where things weren't quite going to plan, but I think after it got explained clearly,
50-minute game time for this one. 50-minute setup, view distance, stuck at 650 meters. Alright.
So well done everyone.
Sector
for
control, attack, defend
sticking
1
to
to
the
2 to
rules,
3, so
and
it's
that
going
was
to
a
be
good
a
start
layered
to tonight,
defense.
so thank
In
you.
I wonder where the
Berzino.
objective is.
Oh my god.
No.
Alright, I'm gonna go down to my casting couch channel because that had all the information I needed. So, guys, this is going to be an area sector control. If you notice, this sector is highlighted while the other two are perfectly marked. This means that BLUFOR can only attack Sector 1 first before hitting the other two sectors, which means Op4 can do a stage defense. They can forget a sector and just do 1 and 3. There's a lot of different ways to make this play through, but this is the market area of Berzino for Sector 1. Sector 2, this is a little urban area right here. I forget which one of these buildings you can go in, but it's Shannars 2020, which means some of these buildings should be enterable because they replaced with the Livonia assets. And then Sector 3 is the northern sign of Kelm here, so I'd assume that some of those buildings are also enterable. Now, BLUFOR cannot take the zones until all of the independent guys are dead or unconscious, or they leave the zone. So this will be interesting to see. Usually when I have 3 objectives, my personal strategy would be to forego one of those areas and just hold out with the other 2, but we'll see what the independent commander decides to do. And with BLUFOR, I mean, this is pretty simple. It's just, go down Main Street. They could also do a small flank around and go down this MSR as well, but honestly, Main Street gets them right on the edge of town, and independent can't fortify that edge of town because it's right on the corner. So they'll have to rush units up there, but I think this is pretty cut and dry. But I would love to see what they're able to do to defend Sector 2. But I also love how the sectors are kind of like in the side areas, so their independent force doesn't have a lot of room to kind of set up wave tier defenses of this area. But you also got to be careful not to get caught out of position in these big open areas around Berzino, because that is where you can easily get picked off. And I can't wait. All right, P&J. Oh god, it's a night op. It's a fucking night op. Is it? Or was I just in the water? Okay, thank God. Oh God, night ops scare the shit out of me. Because the last night op that happened, it was flashlights versus NVGs, and I can assure you that that was a very messy operation. Why'd I hear Iceberg? Iceberg, what are you doing here? Go support TSB. Go support TSB. How are you doing?
Oh God, I hear 2 of you.
I know. Are you stream sniping? Iceberg, that's against the rules. That's a 7-day.
I'm stream sniping, yes.
Oh, that is a 7-day. Where are you? I am going to get you reported right now.
In the tail gunner seat of the helicopter. Being
I see.
Absolutely useless.
Ah, yes. Classic. Oh, there actually is a tail gun today. Excellent.
Yep, boy. I can't wait to see that thing try and dogfight.
Fucking
Cow 19.
Cow 19 12.7 minigun. Oh, that's gonna be messy.
Hey, on the plus side, I mean, the only saving grace for the MI8 is it carries more ammo than the Cow 19.
True, but that Cow 19 is gonna be very easily able to pick off that
Larry
helicopter.
saved you, by the way. I was gonna play the Doot, but he said don't do the Doot.
Don't do the Doot. The Doot is bad.
Doot.
The Doot makes me mad. It is spooky. It's a spooky month, but can't do the Doot. Not yet. Looks like we got basic U.S. forces with Slushy's silly avatar that can make him seen a mile away. And we're fighting GREENFOR, which appears to be, I want to say, a Cherno-Russian force with, 7 4s instead of that SA-58 stuff, so interesting.
Although, it appears everyone's able to take some sort of zoom-enhanced optic.
Yep, I'm seeing PSOs getting put down on some of the AKs, but the US guys, I mean, they're going to be able to get those really nice 230Ms and LKMs and everything. So that kind of nullifies the need for the marksman, but at the same time, I mean, that is a nice little op I'd love to play. I love I love these ones. Yeah, some people are still gonna stick with what they know, so that's always appreciative. But let's look at these individual sectors here. So Sector 1 is, I don't see anything spruced up with it. The big buildings are still cereal boxes, but there's nothing interesting that has been touched up on the supermarket, so that's A-okay. But again, a lot of these buildings are going to be enterable now because Chernarus 2020 is pretty much just all the buildings replaced with lithium assets. Let's look at Sector 2 here. This is the one I'm really curious about because this is an industrial zone. And the building is fully enterable. Oh, yeah. So that's going to be a fun one to do. Both big buildings are fully enterable in the sector. So that is definitely going to be an interesting op there. We're going to...
Was this,
That's actually extended.
why can't I think of the word? Consecutive? Whatever it's called?
Yeah, so I have to take Sector 1 first, and Sector 2, and Sector 3.
Oh boy.
And then Sector 3 has a fully enterable build. Actually, no, this one's only partially enterable in the center, but then, yeah, a bunch of civilian buildings there as well. But, yeah, I mean... This is going to just be another op where it's going to fall more so to the PvP rather than OP assets like last time, even though both sides kind of messed up, I will say. But well, that's the previous op. We're now in the next op, so... Curious to see how the MI8's used. I'll be curious to see how the GAU 19 is used. And I'll be curious to see if the pilots field anyone. Geez, there's like a shit ton of pilots and co-pilots. Why are there so many people doing pilot roles for BLUFOR?
3 helicopters, and each of those helicopters also have an OP as shit camera on it. Why wouldn't you put everyone in them?
Because, honestly, you don't need... I don't know. I think that's a little bit of a squander. I can see one of the co-pilots being used for the transport Vics for recon. I can see one of the co-pilots being used for the GAU 19 Vic in case, you know, the pilot gets shot. But all of them? Really? It's quite a bit.
GAU 19 is going to be their greatest asset, though. They got
Definitely
2 gun trucks and an Mi-8 to take care of. And that thing only holds around 5
Everyone's
or 600
a pilot.
pounds, I think, and it burns through that ammo quick, so. Although when it hits hard.
Well, you're stuck in Remy's shadow. Oh, that's funny. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'd be curious to see if BLUFOR is either going to go up the MSR or they're going to use helicopters to field in forces close. Because, again, with how the sectors are made, GREENFOR doesn't get a lot of leeway to do full 360 fortifications. Sector 3 they can do a lot with. Sector 2 can also be done with a lot because most of that compound's included. But Sector 1 being on the northern edge of the main town of Berzino, that's going to be an interesting one. So I'll be curious to see how Independent divides their forces and where they decide to make their stands here. But I'm also curious to see where BLUFOR deploys itself with its 15% numbers advantage.
I didn't catch it. What's the, what is the number advantage? 20%?
15, I believe.
Okay, that looks...
At least that's what I was told during the brief. But we'll see how things go.
Well, Green's deploying a few dudes already. They're just...
Yeah, right. Oh well. Enjoy D&D.
Yeah,
I would
so
hope
they're just
people
trying to
know
find
what
good
DND
defensive
means.
areas in
Unless
Sector
it's
1
do
and
not
whatnot.
disturb and you're gonna go do something frisky with someone. Wink. Take pictures. Alright, so I do love what Independent is doing, though, despite the AO that they've been given. It looks like they are trying to make some fortifications on Sector 1. They're going to probably do a big holdout here. I mean, that's a good call because it's a nice urban environment to work with. But being downhill here could bite them in the butt a little bit. My opinion, though, the best AO to defend would probably be Sector 2 because it's literally a compound with a shit ton of open areas around it. You could build some fortifications to basically tower over the perimeter wall and catch people out in the open. And then there's just so many places you can hide people to converge on BLUFOR when they eventually breach in to just make that AO hell. But it looks like Independent instead is going to go balls to the wall here and only go with the first sector, really. You know, I'd be willing to bet Independent, they're going to get a... do you see on the southern side of the Berzino, do you see the private first class Bedovanich? I'm bad at names.
Can you try pronouncing that one more time?
Yeah, so he was right next to the T-34, and I think he put some explosive charges on it. So maybe he's going to try to blow up the statue to get the T-34 to use it against the bad guys. Am I right or am I right?
Sure, let's go with that logic. Why not?
Alright, I got another POV
Definitely wasn't all
here.
tapped out, just, you know, trying to find music or anything.
Totally. Got another POV here for the multi guys. It's gonna be one of the pilots. Also, I didn't check to see who was still streaming, who's not streaming. Actually, I have a second. I can do that right now. So if you hear a bunch of voices, I'm sorry. That's me just trying to load up the multi here to pick off who is not streaming round 2. So give me just a second. That's gonna literally murder my bandwidth. My bitrate might get a little chunky here as I load. Geez, 15 POVs. That's interesting. All right, so Wheaton, it says he's offline, and everyone else is in there though. Okay, so let me write out Wheaton's,
Okay.
and that should be good.
They have anyone in
All right. That should be updated. Cool.
Aside from the door.
All right, Babel, we'll see you for NA unless you make it quicker, make it back quicker from the grocery store. If you find turkey legs or artichokes, that's what I need, Bad Wolf, so I'd appreciate it. DshK Barbarian? No, he usually only commentates NA, but he's not commentating this week because he told me a week and a half ago he had a work thing come up.
Did Liru die? Quite possibly.
No, you can't use that T-34. Sorry, I was talking with chat and then fixing my multi-twitch.
I should send you my link because I'm actually doing it right now.
Oh, send it to me, I'll add you to mine, and then I'll send you the whole multi, okay?
Yeah, I don't have the multi-link working in my shit because I broke all of my settings and have to redo them. Fun times, right?
Yep. Alright, Iceberg.
Of course, I'm playing copyrighted music as well, but, you know,
Amazing.
who cares?
We're gonna do Bentusi battle. I'm feeling that better. It's always a classic to play Bentusi
I
battle.
want to see a clutch RPG shot shoot down a helicopter this round. That's all I'm saying.
I'll give you $20 if that's made. I don't think we might see a clutch shot on a vehicle, ground-based Vic, but no way in hell are they gonna hit a little bird with a fucking RPG. No way. Unless it's like landing, but
We've
like
seen crazier things.
I agree, but there's no way in hell they're gonna make an RPG shot on a mobile little bird. Maybe if it goes into land, I could see it, but not here. No way. No way. I will believe in 21 kill streaks and the clutching and squandering of vehicles, but I will not believe in RPG shots shooting down helicopters. Not here. Not ever. Unless I am proven otherwise. Oh, by the way, the Matt team. Oh, no, never mind. That's RHS Carl Gustav. I could have sworn I saw the vanilla scope on. I'm like, what the fuck? They changed it? They changed it. Oh no. So Matt team for BLUFOR has that Carl Gustav, and I actually don't see a Matt team for Independent. I don't see a Charlie 2. Hold up. Wait. Nope. They're in the Vic. All right. They're with Platoon. One of them got out. I'm trying to see what that other Matt team weapon is, but they're still in the Vic, so I guess we'll check back in a second. I'd be willing to bet an RPG 42, maybe an Igla.
With the amount of helicopters they'd have, I'd hope it's an Igla.
We'll see. Do I think Homeworld 3 will be any good? I fucking hope so. But I'm
They
biased.
appear to be
I want it
stationing some
to
of
be
their
more like Homeworld
UAZs
Homeworld
to
1 than
go
Homeworld
off
2. I fucking hated
to
Homeworld 2.
the west.
Like,
Best spot for the helicopters pushing around? I'm not sure.
Ugh.
Since everything's just since everything is sequential,
mm-hmm.
like doing a heli flank to the rear won't be that helpful if they
Yeah.
deploy most of their forces back there and they still have to get to Sector 1. So
They could put them at the edge of Berzino because they know that Independent doesn't get that much range to leave the town because they're stuck in that corner. So if they're spooled up and they could get there within 60 seconds and start the fight early. It looks like from their deployments, though, they might forego Sector 2. I think that's a mistake. Because, again, out of
Sector
all...
2 with some of that industrial area would be the easiest to defend.
Exactly, and it has its own perimeter, and they could just build fortifications on it to make little kill zones for the open fields. Like, it's...
Especially that giant gray factory building.
Yeah,
You
it's...
can make that place living hell.
It's a done deal. Well, you got to be careful because the gray factory, it's not really in the AO except like the far corner of it, but that corner is actually blocked by a fuel drum. So even then, the other big factory building, like you could just fortify the interior of this and turn it into a big kill zone, you know? And then there's also the upper floor of it, which you got to climb up to, that you can also do a last stand here in all these extra rooms, you know? So
To mention the giant perimeter wall of the entire compound.
you could put fortifications on the you know, just before the perimeter wall, get on top of that, and then watch these big kill zones coming in. Like, that I feel like is Independent's biggest squander right now. But with no units over there, I don't think it's going to be used. They're just going to use it to buy time to get back to Sector 3 once they deem Sector 1's lost. And yeah, I don't know. A little disappointed with that. But looking at the helicopters here, I'm only seeing a marksman team getting mounted up, but the marksman team consists of both marksmen from both platoons, but they're gonna ground it in. I think I can see why they do that, but that, again, I would love to see,
I would put both of them there. Oh, and we got, who is it with the blue mask? In the back of the Littlebirds?
Is he?
Yeah, there's a 3-man team going in. It looks like,
Check, so he's heading away in there.
I don't know who.
But also, based off the vehicles, looks like they're not going to go down the MSR. They're going to go down the other MSR and then probably cut north along the left edge and get into Berzino through the other MSR coming in from the west.
They don't have too many
Weird.
bases on the west right now.
What, for Independent? I'd agree. But that's still a little risky because you see there's some cars that are going to deploy as Independent's probably going to send an early counterattack.
There's an entire squad in the back of one of those trucks.
True,
Or
but I
half the
mean,
squad.
you got to recall that Independent also have their own helicopter, and that helicopter spots the convoy going in that direction. You're just going to have them change defenses here, but look at... We might see an early engagement here away from the sectors if both of these forces run into each other.
Alright, so... Like I was assuming, Blue's helicopter.
I haven't played Squadrons yet.
Flank. How wide? Who knows? They're just...
There's a lot of games I want to play, but I don't have the time for because I'm opening up more Arma projects. But yeah,
Looks like
Bad
Rita's
Wolf,
preparing for
I
some
hope
sort
it's
of
more
Western
Homeworld
push
1-ish.
anyway.
I
Independent, whatever you want to call them.
put $1,000 down for it. I
We have
put all my
NASA,
feedback in.
That's the only dude in
I
Sector 3.
Hope to
And
God it is more Homeworld 1-ish because
Showing
Homeworld
the,
2 just was too...
command? No, he is...
It was too generic for a space game. Because the fucking resource points were static. There weren't that many maps that used the full 3D feature of the maps, which granted, neither did Homeworld 1. I was hoping they would improve on that, but the custom games, you know. All right, so independent helicopter has just buzzed the BLUFOR convoy, so they should be getting a good idea of where BLUFOR is going to come in from. I'm also kind of shocked that they're using they're having the armed helicopter go with all the other helicopters here. I don't get it, you know, like. If they would have just had that overwatch the convoy, because you would have predicted that GREENFOR would probably use that helicopter to go scout the convoy out. That would have been an early way to easily get the kill in.
So Green's first platoon is...
Op4 doing a little bit of, Independent doing a little bit of an early dismount, but BLUFOR pulling a little trick play on me, actually. They're, dismounted from the MSR, and some are going directly down the side of the hill early from where independent forces might predict them going. Oh, and by the way, the MAC gun is Enigla. It is indeed Enigla.
Yep. And then we got...
The marksman group is being deployed in the rear. It was Dingo with that blue mask. Silly Dingo. But they're gonna, I guess, harass Sector 3. Okay. These are some really weird plans, but look at this. We might see some independent guys catch BLUFOR Vics out of the open.
I don't think they're gonna hit those vehicles as they haul ass down that hill.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, they're too far in the thickness of the forest here. Out of position. Even though they had intel, they might be able to catch the other 2 Vics that come by if they move a little closer and wait, but...
Weapons team just... They heard the Vics go
Why
by.
did they dismount a fucking DshK car?
Wait, they dismounted a DshK car somewhere?
Yeah, so independent, if you look in the forest on the far right where those guys are, they have a DshK car right there. They could have literally just shot up those Vics, and the Littlebirds just found the MI8.
And, oh god, GREENFOR, independent's firing at independent for a moment.
The armed Littlebird, though, is way on the northern side. Why are all these forces just out of position here, man?
Judging by what I'm seeing on the map is we got one force flank around to the northwest side of town, other force coming from the south once they're distracted. However, that southern force doesn't realize there's an enemy fire team behind them, so first platoon independent might be able to do some work once they know who's already past them.
Yeah, independent have a lot of their forces out of position here now that a lot of forces are making it by the ambushes independent was trying to set up. The other BLUFOR group giving its position away as it unloads a lot of ammo into the MI8 to no avail. And we have a Littlebird flying through, I guess, tracking the MI8 as the armed MI8 is now going to, the armed Littlebird is now going to start trying to engage the MI8 there. Because it cannot seem to line up a shot here, but it's getting it close.
They're getting some hits.
I didn't see any damage, no smoke hits.
Just need to get a bit closer.
Yeah, so that MI8 is actually going to be faster than a Littlebird here, but
It's going to be a lot faster.
a lot less maneuverable. So the Littlebirds basically have to kind of catch it while it's dedicating itself to a movement here, and then they can get a good strike on it. But we have the main BLUFOR force on the, it's not even the main, it's a pincer movement here. So the northern pincer has dismounted. They're starting to cross the open field into Berzino here. Looks like Op4 has a good setup on the, what is this? The medical building, the hospital, excuse me. But they just don't have an angle on this massive BLUFOR force coming in. But looks like some of the BLUFOR guys are spotted by T5Bay on a rooftop with a PKM. And he is now starting to spray ammo over there. So what I need to see BLUFOR do now is pop some smokes and advance. All right, we're starting to see the smoke getting popped out. That's good. But now you're seeing a lot of BLUFOR guys firing back to give some good cover fire. I think I just saw T5Bay get picked off. Yeah, he got knocked off the roof. Nice. But this is going to pull all the eyes to look at the northern pincer group as the southern pincer starts to close the gap. And they're a little more scary here because they have all the armed vehicles. So I'd love to see this group kind of remount these Vics and just charge in to close that gap. And this would completely catch Independent out of position, especially since Independent, they still have this force on this ambush vector along the western MSR. And there's absolutely no point for it because they already let the force go by.
In other news, they are down one little bird. Unsure if it was the armed one or not. And the MI-8 I can't find anywhere, so it is down as well somewhere.
MI-8 appears to be down over by Sector 2. We have some knocked over power lines as well.
Yeah, I saw the little bird. That's a little bird crash there. Where's the MI-8?
So,
Oh, well, that's good.
MI-8 is by, hold up. Because I do believe this is important. MI-8 is way north of Berzino, just on the outskirts of the rail station. And let me now check the armed little bird. I'm gonna have to check all these little birds individually here, but Mountain and Olaf, whatever they were flying.
That's a big loss.
So the armed one is G-Legs and Nomas, and it is still operational. So I guess they traded, or there was a vehicle ram or something. I don't know, but
Some good shots going in out on the top of the hospital. Just insta-killed quite a few of the people on the roof.
jeez. Meanwhile, Johnson just avoided. There's another little bird that's down. I think Johnson got shot down by a UAZ DshK, but he was able to survive. So both transport little birds are down, and it's the armed one that's remaining. So I don't know. The Igla crew hasn't really gotten anything through though, so it's weird. Just a weird dynamic that's been going on. But yeah, you're right. A few bodies on the. I've only seen one body actually on the hospital.
Here's what's confusing me. We got half of that northwestern push from BLUFOR still sitting in the tree line. There's an entire squad. Bravo.
And they're about to be caught out of the open by the UAZ Vic.
Yeah, but Scanny Recon's there. That UAZ is fucked.
You say that. Oh. Never mind. There goes the driver. There goes the gun. There goes the gun. Okay. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, it was Scandy Recon and friends that. Okay. Never mind. I stand corrected.
That was a massacre.
Wow. That was. If you pull a UAZ DshK up to Scandy Recon and friends, you're gonna have a bad time. That's what I've learned. And then you have the marksman team just picking off an independent medic scouting out that sector. I think they're trying to set up a back cap here on Sector 3.
Well, what they need to do, I guess they don't know. Uh-oh. Adrahado's in Sector 3. Adrahado also has eyes on them.
Oh dear. Oh dear. So I think BLUFOR's plan, he got some hits on Stray Dog there. I think BLUFOR's plan was to try to get, so they still have that group in the tree line by Vic. So maybe as that sector was taken, they were going to load up and push to Sector 2 and then have the marksman team go and back cap Sector 3. And honestly, with how stretched the independent forces, I might keep saying Op4 is independent. I use them interchangeably. I'm sorry, but it might just work because there are so many independent guys way out of position here, and I honestly don't understand why.
I think they were trying to intercept a flank like they did. They just didn't get there in
They
time.
just didn't get there, but they watched it drive by. Meanwhile, explosive trap going off, it was ineffective though. The independent guy, it's Striker. I've seen him command once or twice, but he's not anywhere either. He's kind of on his own watching Sector 2, so he's not there to kind of see how ineffective this is going. Meanwhile, we're seeing the
There's an entire
last...
squad.
Go ahead.
There's an entire team of, or half a squad's worth of dudes of independent just completely out of position.
Also, Hadav is making us look bad. He's blue on bluing, literally Scandy Recon in the tree line that they dismounted. I don't know why the fuck he's doing that. But Little Bird's landing to pick up the one survivor pilot, I guess to field him in or just to chill up there. Independent, I mean, if they maneuver this group and they close the gap, they could also get that UAZ DshK that they dismounted. Had they not dismounted that UAZ DshK and they just had it follow the 2 transport trucks coming down, they could have gotten so many kills in. But, you know, this just... Every player base likes to dismount the armed Vics when they use them for transport instead of just using them properly. I don't know why. It's silly. But that's going to cost Independent a lot here.
Seeing some of these 50 cal Humvees being used, so that's...
For BLUFOR, because BLUFOR has been using their vehicle assets. Just GREENFOR hasn't been fully using all of them, and it shows.
What's confusing me is we have BLUFOR Alpha Squad is digging in, and they're on the attack? What?
I guess they're waiting for the other half of the pincer to close, as well as that next force to come in. They're getting caught out in the open and shot, though. I thought they were...
Some nasty hits.
Yeah, I thought these guys are going to be a reserve team, but they're now being pushed in as well. I think BLUFOR is overestimating the amount of independent forces here. But even though they're slow to move in, we are seeing a marksman. Marksman just shot and killed, it was Fred. So Fred just shot and killed one of the 50 cal gunners on top of the Humvees. He could also shoot out the other 50 cal gunner because he's caught in the open right now with the driver being none the wiser. But that's good on Fred to get that kill, at least doing his part to pick off what he can. And now you're hearing the Gao go, but the Igla missed!
That is incredibly lucky. And he hit Oscar with that gun run. Oscar is lucky to be alive.
Yeah, 12.7 shots going in, a lot of blood. It looks like the Igla gunner also got hit once because I'm seeing a blood splatter where he was.
I'm trying to find Fred. Where is he?
Fred is to the right of that group that just got struck towards the west. He's on his own. He's picking off dudes, but we're also seeing the other 50 cal gun getting picked off as well. And one of them still has their driver. They're trying to pull away, so they're nullifying BLUFOR's Vic advantages here, which is great. But, I mean, just BLUFOR... They're just being a little slow to the draw here. Now, Independent's starting to close the gap because of all the forces they had in reserve to come in, but now BLUFOR's coming in with another gun run, potentially.
Take a look at T5 Bay, flanking an entire squad.
I do see that, too. God, so many cool things to look at here. And you're having another Gao 19 strike, but it's ineffective. He's firing at a rock from the looks of it. Miss PIDing that for a body. So more guys on BLUFOR's rear getting picked off. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, T5 Bay getting engaged by that squad, but he's picking off what he can. Double tapping a dead body, make sure it's dead. Not a bad call there. Bay is also... I thought I just saw some blood, but that might have already been there. His legs, his left leg especially, appears to be shot up a bit. But he's keyholing under the walls. And I think he's going to catch the Vincer out in the open right here. So Bay is bleeding a little bit as well.
Come on, proceed to Vincer.
You're hearing the 50 cals firing backwards as that far independent team's starting to close the gap.
They knocked out the gunner in the 50.
Yep, meanwhile far north that marksman team is... Oh, there's the hit from the Igla. Tail rotor's gonna be out. I think only the tail rotor though. I'm not hearing the engine spool down. T5 Bay still playing his dangerous game. Got hit up a few more times. He might be boxed in here. But the northern group, that marksman team, they have one down. As Op4 sent the rest of their forces over there to try to close the gap on that marksman team. So that's interesting enough. T5 Bay letting some smoke build up. He might be able to catch some BLUFOR guys out of position. Using his MG like a rifle. Manages to get another kill. Jack has no idea where to fire. He's actually firing at friendlies.
Oh, Slushy was shooting through the wall and he got team killed.
Yep, he just got team kill, I think, by Stingen. Yep, so Stingen has a -1 kill. DeVincer has pushed up in the smoke, being incredibly cautious. T5 Bay's gonna sprint right into him! Oh, and T5 Bay wins the gunfight!
Misu, look to your right! Rosie, what the fuck?
Oh my god, no rear security being pulled, but unfortunately Bay's accuracy had lost itself a little bit. Misu, Prozzy, see him going to that animation, going for the double tap, there it is. But wow, that... I mean, again, the power of one person getting in the middle of the line. We saw multiple kills, a friendly fire kill, multiple people shooting at each other, and BLUFOR, because they failed to push in, pressing their advantage, they've lost their momentum, and now Independent is starting to turn this fight around.
T5 with 3 confirmed kills this round.
I mean, that's all you need. I mean, he literally stopped the momentum of an entire flank, and the other flank's momentum got slowed down because the gap got closed on him. So I'm not surprised this is going down this way. Meanwhile, it looks like the GAU 19 helicopter is spooling down. It might be out of commission. I think they're trying to see if it's still good, maybe trying to do some field repairs. But that's going to mean 3 of BLUFOR's fighters are way out of position. I don't think there's any spare Vics for them to take back at spawn because... Nope, there are a few. So they could still drive back in. They're just going to be in for a little long walk. But looking back at the main fight here...
They're repairing their anti-torque, so they'll at least be able to get it.
Oh, okay, so they can repair. Got it.
I think they're just such a basic engineer, maybe.
I'd assume that Igla has one more round remaining, but... I mean, both sides are taking some pretty heavy casualties here. Independent...
I regret to inform you, but what Igla?
Oh, did he get killed?
Which person had it?
It would be in Charlie 2.
I do not see.
I don't see Charlie 2 either. They were being weird on the roster earlier, but... strange. Meanwhile, BLUFOR's far northern flank has been cut down. There's only one guy left at Stanners, but he has been hit a few times. But Op4 isn't any better here. There's only 5 independent guys up. Excuse me, independent. So Stanners, he has a marksman rifle. He could still get a few shots in and some kills. But we have NASA picking up the enemy marksman rifle.
Whatever happened up there, they did take almost take quite a large amount of people with them, though.
I mean, that's the trades you want to be making, especially on the side that has more numbers. But we're seeing BLUFOR now starting to close the gap. Is Twig King dead? I saw him push up on his own as command. Nope, he's still alive. He is breaching the hospital building on his own. And he catches Danzer out of position. Danzer breaks out on the right, but unfortunately goes down. Managed to take out Twig King's legs, though. And you also have members of Scandia Recon starting to breach in as well. That hospital's going to get a little messy. Few patients. Ooh.
Bluck just picked off. Who was that? Infidel?
Good shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bluck has a kill. That's a good shot. I mean, it's that headshot, man. It's crazy. But anyway, helicopter back in position here. We have Pierce and company in an M2 Humvee pushing around. UAZ Humvee pushing around to meet him, though. And the gunner of the 50 cal Humvee's down. That Vic could press them and kill them all. So that 12.7 will be able to penetrate in. But it looks like that UAZ is not going to push its advantage. A little bit of a squander if you ask me, but maybe they didn't see that
keep in mind that DshK has a 50-round mag where that
True.
M2 gets
Has 100 rounds, exactly. So Twig King leading by the front here. Again, they're trying to make sure this building's clear. But I think he just died to Dr. Britt. Or Marco. No, he went back downstairs. Never mind.
We have about a fire team and a half of dudes over here, just outside of Sector 1, being pinned down by one person.
Meanwhile, Stanners was able to get another independent kill on the northern group. Independent, though, were able to get one of their guys that were downed back up, because I believe Gotland's a medic, so we'll be able to rescue another guy potentially. So again, it's really just the battle for Sector 1 here.
It appears most of the people that were in that Humvee are no longer... Oh, hold on. Let's see if I can...
Yeah, they pulled up the Bluck's position. I guess Ode got out. Bluck probably traded with him. But Independent, looks like they're actually going back to remount their vehicles over here. Get that other UAZ DshK out. Unless it was taken by someone else. I actually can't find their Vics. But they need to pretty much field back into the fight right now, or at least reposition, so they're not squandered. BLUFOR still having the numbers advantage here, but Independent, I mean, they've got it tighter. It's really just falling to the PvP here. It's up to Bassbeard and Gastel and Dylan if he comes back into this AO to hold. And we also have Marco out as well, so let's see what happens. Gastel, unfortunately, being caught out of position. Twig King hits him down. And now it is up to Bassbeard, who is camping this one building on his own. RPG just got heard flying out. I think that was actually an 8C4 by Victor Koak. Oh, the Littlebird hits a tree! And takes out a few more with it, and might have just caused a rage quit. Yeah, so unfortunately, trees kill, I want to say, if I were to pull up the official statistic here, Littlebirds are the number one, trees are the number one cause of Littlebird deaths every year. So you got to be careful. Got to be careful as a Littlebird. It's a very risky life because, you know, a tree could just come out of nowhere and destroy you. Or the ground. Iceberg has experience with that. Just asked him about the public op last week.
Hey, I didn't hit a tree. That was prosy.
I said or the ground, okay?
Yeah,
the
no.
ground is bad.
The ground
I mean, you
got
were shot
prosy.
out of the helicopter, though, so you still
got
hit the
shot.
ground.
Secondary effects.
It's a secondary effect.
My bad. Underlying condition.
So Hadav just watched Twig King run in front of him and took shots at him again. Hadav, that's his second blue-on-blue incident. Also throwing a grenade up there. It was a good throw, not gonna lie, but Pads might catch some shrapnel. He does catch some shrapnel from that. And you just have Bassbeard kind of holding this one den right here as the might of BLUFOR comes in. But Independent looks like they've remounted in the VIX. Not sure what they'll do here.
Bassbeard is a fucking genius.
I do like how he's opened that gate to give himself a little bit of cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's gonna catch one of them out of position. Unfortunately,
Oh, the
Twig
gate
King
got
knocks the gate down as well.
Twig might wake up.
He could, but that was a lot of shots, and Twig's already been shot up before, so I'm not sure if he got medics. If I was Bassbeard, I would take that BLUFOR gun, and I would just start wrecking havoc. Twig King wakes
Twig
back
woke
up.
He's getting out of there.
And Bassbeard's going, wait a second, where's the body?
And BLUFOR says no you. And he killed Bassbeard. Or Twig.
Twig King, but unfortunately goes down after the walls get knocked over and exposed by the rest of BLUFOR in there. So now BLUFOR needs to press the advantage here. If I was Independent, I would remount those vehicles and go speeding to Sector 3 because I'm pretty sure that's what the plan was. Meanwhile, looking back at the north here.
Someone did quite a lot of work up there.
Wow.
There are 3 people remaining out of what? There was 7?
There was
8?
about a full squad up there, yeah. There was a squad and then 3 additional guys defending, so those marksmen got a lot of kills in. If I were to quickly look at the platoon roster here,
Right, I have a guest.
Dingo unfortunately died with no kills. Looking at platoon 2, though, I'm trying to find him. I'm blind. Stander's got 5 kills with that marksman rifle. Hot damn. Stray Dog also with 1 kill. So 6 kills between the 3 of them. Not a bad PID to go 2-1 with that. So Dylan right here. Not sure if he's AFK. No, he's a marksman just trying to get some licks in. But this close, I mean, I'd be want to... How do I put this? With units out on the street, especially with that AO captured, you want to be a little more mobile here because these guys are going to try to mobilize and get things going. Time-wise, there's about 25 minutes remaining in this AO, and the UAZs are going to cross into the AO. Masai could probably see this and start mag dumping. What is Independent doing? Vic pushes up, Masai gets off the street, and there's dead people in that vehicle. Driver went down. All of them are down, except that one guy, but he's got, he just got shot in the head multiple times. That was a massive squander of units again! So the only real group of defenders remaining is the 8 people in this truck that are being kept in reserve, and just some stragglers on Independent, but I don't get it. I honestly don't get it here. Mass round coming in when Chubb is right next to it. Chubb's still okay, though, thankfully, because gun cars don't really cook off. Dylan's still waiting around back here, but, geez, Independent on both ops have just been really, really overly cautious, and it's shown. Meanwhile, we have Fred, the other Independent marksman, trying to reposition. I think he's running back to maybe find the platoon vehicle he was a part of, because Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to do much otherwise. And then Dylan, he's going to find himself out of position as well. I know there's not really any vehicle he could take. He's just camping that building, not really doing much. I do like, though, how BLUFOR circumvented most of the defensive fortifications made here, but I guess Dylan could use those transport trucks, but I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Like, this has been indie camp. Okay, so again, BLUFOR has to take these sectors in order. So they have to take Sector 2 next, then Sector 3. But Independent, once a sector's taken, cannot retake the sector. As you see, it has now disappeared from the map. So it's going to be ground command. No, Rory is, he was part of ground command. He's the 2IC. He's going to camp this objective by itself, so BLUFOR can't just run in and cap it. I like that idea. That's going to buy BLUFOR Independent a little more time to reposition, but with the big spanking they took from those marksmen being 6 men down, that's going to be a really difficult objective to manage here. Meanwhile, I think Stryker's trying to find a spot to command from the back here, but he is going to have to see some combat soon because they're going to need every man they can get in that back area. Just looking at the skulls here, we still got some big chunks of BLUFOR here on the roster, including Scandi Recon, again, one of the big squads to watch. Meanwhile, just Independent, look at all of those skulls, man. So, I don't know. If Independent didn't dismount this UAZ DshK and used it to charge those 2 transport trucks that went down here, they would have been able to rack up so many more kills. And that honestly could have switched the tide because those 2 trucks were filled to the brim with dudes. So it's just, at that point, you're just trying to hit the freaking backside of a barn and your bullet's probably going to hit and kill somebody. So Dylan opting to go on foot, I don't think he's going to see any more use, to be perfectly honest. Not going for a Vic. Fred unable to find his Vic as well. Both Independent marksmen being fielded out of position. Not a good call there. Maybe they'll be able to find some transport, but just with how big this AO is, I mean, it's a click away and then another click away. Smaller than the first AO, sure, but not what you want to see. And we have Independent dismounting back here. I guess they're checking for potentially more BLUFOR back caps, but with how sporadic all the units are, I'm not sure if Stryker has as big of a grasp on the situation than I'm leading him on to think he has. Just with, again, how out of position his units are. We have the bias of having the bird's eye view interface. We're able to see everything in real time. We got to remember these commanders have to actively talk with other guys with radios to get information here. So I don't think Independent knows how dire the situation is, in all honesty. BLUFOR, meanwhile, doing a really good job. They know their commander's dead, so they're regrouping down here. They're grabbing their transport trucks, and they're going to make another plane to go in. They still have 3 of their armed Humvees to give them some good fire support, so we'll see what they decide to restructure here. They could definitely leave a Vic or 2 behind to be more consolidated, but at the same time, they could also spread out and lessen the likelihood of one of their Vics getting gunned down, so we'll see. And they also still have the MAC gun by Potato, but Potato just hurt himself running into that car, so that's a big oof right there. Dylan trying to beeline into Sector 2, but I don't see him getting any use here. Oh my god! But Independent has a perfect wedge formation! You see a squad level formation. That isn't a tactical blob. Wow, okay. Never mind. Independent's totally gonna win, guys. Totally gonna win. Yeah, no, these... I don't see these marks. Maybe Fred will find one of those transport trucks and go through. Maybe he'll catch Dylan. But... I don't know, like BLUFOR just seems to be a lot more organized than Independent right now. And sure, that's gonna let them all get slowed down instead of units just blindly going willy-nilly inside, but just with how everything is, these guys need to be going to Sector 3 and setting up a defensive perimeter, because they can still win it to time if they put up a good fight. But if they go out and about in a random area, they could be circumvented. BLUFOR reorganized and is attacking Sector 2. Independent still seems to be a bit of a mess here. And I don't really I don't really see how Independent's going to be able to get this one, but they at least have a squad that was doing a really good wedge formation in their maneuvering, so you win some, you lose some. I like Royd right here, though, with AT.
Couple of GREENFOR dudes who got left who are the only survivors of Sector 1.
It's both the marksmen, but they're trying to walk back, but BLUFOR is about to just...
Fred ditched his marksman rifle.
Did he? What'd he grab?
GP25 AK. Or 74th, the grenade launcher, and then we got one dude
I would have grabbed a
Sector
frickin'
2.
BLUFOR AK. Yeah, so that's Rory, who's the 2IC for Stewig. Also, I love the how the power lines are knocked up next to this AO to show that one of the helicopters hit that.
That is a helicopter's worst nightmare. Not trees, power lines.
Yeah, because they can't be seen. You like that, you formation slut.
Until it's too late.
Mm-hmm. So BLUFOR is starting to get into the AO, not officially in the sector yet. They're instead breaching and clearing buildings. If I was BLUFOR, I'd suspect something's up. With the amount of guys they fought, I would still think Independent has forces in reserve to possibly set up an ambush on Sector 2. There's also the possibility that there is an explosive trap. I don't think there actually is, but there is that possibility. I don't know what they're shooting that 50 out. I think they mispid'd the other 50 cal Vic pushing in, thinking that was enemy. But this, I mean, this would be perfect for an explosive trap in the bigger buildings.
Pads, how do you deal with this? By getting shot in the fucking face.
That's how. So, I mean, weapon PID-wise, now BLUFOR knows where the bad guys are.
Bad frag! 2 of them!
Amazing. And Rory getting caught out of the open because he bad fragged. Shot up a little bit. His arms are down. Nemesis, though. Nemesis is hungry. Nemesis smells blood. He sees an open door. He runs in. And Nemesis pulled away? Nemesis!
Yanni died?
Yes, okay, so Nemesis just went out the window and still got the kill. But I guess he had an issue with Yanni being alive and decided to fix it.
Yanni woke back up and now he's down again, though.
Yeah, it's the wake up, immediate knockout thing where it calculates.
He got up and walked a few steps.
Oh, he tripped. But anyway, there's Sector 2 down. We're gonna have the 15-minute warning called in about a minute, but again, we have like the main bulk of Independent forces just completely out of position here. There's only 3 guys on defense. We got Royd trying to camp the MSR coming into the AO, at least considering Sector 3. He's got AT though, he could get a snipe in, but if I was BLUFOR, I would not be taking the MSRs into AOs at this point.
No, but there's a decent, what is this, an 8-man team?
Yeah, the Independent one, but I think they're lost because they've just been there for like the past 5 minutes. After they dismounted,
They definitely do need to pull back in.
if you track the the MSR of this AO specifically, all the way to the west, where those 2 buildings are, you'll see just behind, like I want to say 20 meters, like in the forest, is their transport truck. So they dismounted hella early, and they've just been walking around everywhere. So I hope they pull back. We see Dylan starting to try to get into this AO. It looks like he's trying to find a good position to get on top of a building to do Overwatch on. But I think by the time he sets up, it's going to be a little too late. There's the 15-minute warning marker. Dylan trying to crawl out from under the wall. But again, BLUFOR is going to already be getting out of this AO. Now, I'll be curious to see where BLUFOR goes, or are they going to form up again like they did the previous AO and make a plan? They have to expect that this next AO is going to be well fortified, so they're not going to do something balls to the wall. They're probably going to dismount somewhere in a forested area outside of this AO and then push in on foot using the 50 cal Vics as cover. God, I feel so bad for Dylan. He just cannot seem to get on top of something, because if he did, he could have some pretty perfect marksman shots here.
I'm curious to see how they put their captured BLUFOR marksman rifles to use.
True, true.
But I only see one of them. Where's the second rifle?
So you have Fred blind firing with his AK-74 into the next AO. It was actually pretty accurate in my opinion,
Come on,
considering
Dylan, you're right there.
blind as heck. He's just firing in the air at a bird. But Dylan, unfortunately, isn't going to get close enough. He is going to be able to get a BLUFOR Vic, though. Maybe he could go pick up Fred as long as Fred doesn't shoot him. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. So we're seeing some blind marksman shots go up to the command Vic, but that's going to be well armored unless he was going for the gunner. And Dylan getting some good shots in. Admittedly, he knocks him out.
The gunner.
Nice. That's the power of that 7.62. Anyway, Independent has they sent a flanking force down the forested area, but they're not going to be utilized. I wonder if Roy's going to get out, try to use this AT here. He has it out. He is watching Vix drive by. What is he going to hit? Nothing, because he decides to turn around. Okay, well,
I think he's expecting one to come up the road here, but
I don't know why you would think that, though, because that's the last thing BLUFOR would do.
he went out, looked at the road, and was very confused.
He's like, wait, vehicles can drive off the road? I think Royd just learned the meaning of Christmas right there, if you ask me. Like, he was just so enamored with that and just made a massive realization. Now he's charging after the vehicles, realizing his mistake. And I lied, BLUFOR is instead going to balls to the wall this. So 2600 managing to shoot out the gunners of two HMG vehicles. Potato now breaching out. He's going to try to find him. Wombat might hear his footsteps coming, though. Potato decides not to breach out of that area. Chip wakes back up, though, only to be hit by an RPG by Bob Winchester. I do not know why BLUFOR is playing this so balls to the wall. That was not the thing you wanted to do. So Bob just goes down to some stray 50 cal fire because it looks like they changed out the gunner on one of those other 50s to kind of overwatch here. Chup is now a Chup has ascended. Chup just ascended. Okay, that's interesting. Potato, he's right there. Potato using his invisible bullets to get the kill because he's not getting any gun audio for me. But unfortunately, Wombat says to Potato, Mr. Hacker Man, not today.
He said, vibe check.
Vibe check. And now you got rounds going everywhere. That one fire team that was pushed out is going back in. Dylan did not notice that car over there and instead is going in on foot. He might be a little too late to the party, though.
Oh, no, he's not going to make it there in time.
And Scanny Recon getting shot up in the forest because they're on the high ground. Oddball making them pay for it, popping a lot of good HE rounds up there. Not scoring any kills, though, but definitely doing some good wounding for shock infantry. Wombat, meanwhile, picking up 2600's PKP and putting a PSO sight on that puppy. He might crawl around, try to get some more kills. Independent trying to close the gap on a southern flank, but BLUFOR definitely digging their heels in. BLUFOR just has to kill 3 guys in the sector and they win. 10 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. This could still go either way, in my opinion, if someone on Independent decides to go full Audrey Hotto here. BLUFOR, they have time, they can regroup, they can be cautious, they can pick the firing arcs, and I just watched AFHD and Bob trade on knockout. Wow, Bob made a machine gunner trade. That's really good. But then again, Bob had a marksman rifle, so it's just caliber versus rate of fire.
By tanking GL rounds, neither of the two is just.
So Independent, that 4-man, actually it was a 5-man push. 3 of them are down. Banana Man getting knocked out as well by Mazai. Mazai got 3 kills right there, and there's still 2 guys left. But yeah, 2 guys left for the cap. Looks like AFHD woke up and killed Bob. Also, Pierce and Wombat traded. And Chup's body is ascending.
Again?
Yeah. And then it just fell. So I guess he wanted to go to heaven, but God said no. Don't you hate it when that happens? Alright, so it's up to Oddball and Lucius here. At this rate, Dylan and Fred, I mean, they are double timing it back. Maybe Maybe not. Royd Camper, meanwhile, getting behind the BLUFOR line here. He could catch some BLUFOR guys out of position, but that's not what he wants to be focusing on.
I believe he's trying to steal that M2 Humvee in front of him.
That would be a really good weapon to use, and he's got a really good shot on aim for the balls. He just has to aim for the balls, but aim for the balls, sidestepping, using a Moz round on Dark Belg. But unfortunately shot it over. Meanwhile, Oddball and Lucius getting in a fight. Oddball just shot up someone in the, one of the Humvees with an open doorway.
Dylan is shooting at Royd.
Of course he is.
Got a CQC up in that building right now.
AFHD and Lucid being joined by Nemesis here. Lucid, if they hold that stairwell, I mean, they'll be able to shoot right down into people's faces. I don't get why he's throwing grenades right now, because the doorway's not even open.
Can you see that from there?
I'm watching the doorway right now. I'm waiting for the door to get opened. Royd firing up. Just got a double tap on aim for the balls. Is trying to climb into the sector. Nemesis getting dropped because he didn't go guns up, but a grenade martyrdom throw. I don't even know what the fuck just happened there. Smoke grenade gets thrown by Oddball. Wrong type of grenade, and there's the sector. Oh, god damn it.
I feel with this amount of people, having it be sequential is very difficult because it either forces you to you have to hard defend one zone. You can't spread out because the attack force is going to overwhelm first.
I mean, in my opinion, Independent had the right idea with flanking forces and trying to catch BLUFOR out of position. It just, they
weren't fast enough.
No, they were fast enough. They just stayed deep in the forest instead of going on the edge of the forest and deploying. They didn't have the UAZ DshK mounted when they could have chased down 2 fully filled BLUFOR trucks of dudes with that DshK and done significant damage. Like, Independent's plan was solid. BLUFOR's plan was solid, but BLUFOR executed better. And that's why BLUFOR won that, in my opinion. Let's go back upstairs.